all men and everywhere you go in the world, in the days past and in the days present, and I believe in the days in the future, that have grown to be exceedingly great and mighty in their days, have had one unique feature when we follow from the tracks of heavens and in the events and the corridors of time. We only notice one major factor that unites them, that they have been having a spirit that backs them behind. When we go back in the days of Nebuchadnezzar, when we go back into the days of the Egyptian pharaohs, when you look at the mighty kings like David, when you look at the mighty kings like Saul, mention them, look at Solomon, they had a unique feature of a spirit that backed them. Either below the sword or above the sword, there was something unique, that it wasn't normal intellect and it wasn't just an average mind of somebody that he would rule over a territory without any sovereign spirit and ability that backs his being. I noticed one thing in 2 Samuel chapter 5 verses 10, that David grew very great and he went on to become great and very great because the Lord was with him. Every time you say mighty man, every time you say mighty woman, every time you see a being that is so paramountly great in a territory, in a field of influence, in any kind of way, just notice one thing and seek out to know deeper what is that influences their existence and their realms of power that they yield. So I noticed that if anyone should be great, and if anyone should or desires to be of a level that is beyond the ordinary, they need to be backed up by a sovereign spirit. And any deity that you surrender yourself to is what, and if it is powerful, it is what that powers you to become what you've become. I've seen leaders that go for 40 years in leadership, for 42, for 30, for 20, and others have gone for 30 days, 15 days, 60 days, and you wonder what was the difference between this one that has gone for 50 and the other one that has gone for only 60 days. It is about what backs them. So if you want to go far, seek the audiences of the Lord. If you want to go far, seek the altars of God and tender the altars as much as you can. The more you tender to the altars and attend to the altars that much, is the more the spirit that you as you're giving yourself to serve backs you to the realms that no one else can ever imagine. I've noticed one thing in common, that whenever David was attacked by any kind of territory, by any kind of king, by any kind of power, the Bible says that he inquired of the Lord, and once the Lord told him, go ahead, you will rule over them, you will overcome them, you will kill them and take charge of them, he had the audacity, and that's what made him unique. It wasn't about the weapons of war that he had. Whether he had a stone or a stick, he would overcome you regardless of how much might you come with a plane, a helicopter, whatever you have. As long as this man had a voice that God is telling him, you will overcome them. Whenever he had a challenge, he would go into the caves and seek the eyes of the Lord and ask one thing, can I go? And once he hears that voice, then David would come out brave and mighty, and his army commander, then Joab, would clear anything else as long as he had the backing of the Almighty and Sovereign God. That is the wisdom of the ancient, and the Bible tells us that we need to go back in the old path and seek those old paths, because we have some wisdom that we are missing in our days that made those men great. So as long as we live, we shouldn't just live with our own normal brains. We should have something that really communicates from what eyes can see and what eyes cannot see. Because remember, the world that we live in was created from the realm that is unseen. It is not seen, but it is existent. And that is where many people faint, because they don't have a spirit that backs them up. Seek that wisdom, and when you get it, I want to assure you, you will never go wrong. And in the days to come, if men and women put their knees down to seek the audience of God, we shall have mighty powers that have never been seen on this face of the earth. May the good Lord bless you, and you continue to shine and shine and shine, because now we've gotten the wisdom that makes men great and makes people unique and inflame the heights that people go to. And once we know this, we can't live below average. We can't have an average life.